begin. So we have, I can compare and contrast the basic properties of matter and explore the scientific theory of atoms. So your goal today, as we've been practicing this skill now for a few days, is what is matter made of? That'll be our strategy. So when you look at your scale, go ahead and look in your notebook. We are looking to see how can we increase from a level 1, where we started. Have you started becoming a level 2? Do you feel like you could check off a few on your own personal scales? A lot of you have already circled words that you wanted to focus on, like atoms. Do you know what atoms are? Could you describe them? Do you know the 3 parts of an atom? Can you tell me a little bit more? Like classify a material and tell me, is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Those are level 2. So ask yourself those questions. So if I take my pointer and I say, what is this classified as? This is a solid. All right, you want to take a look at your scale. Let's rate ourselves now before we begin, and we're gonna look back at our scale again and see if we have made any progress and we can move up to the next level. So this is here in your notebook that we can refer to at any time, okay? So now we're going to move on to the next section. Now, our question on the board, can we figure out what matter is made of? So I think we can do it, all right? Now we're going to watch a little brain pop to get us started.
Dear Tim and Moby, what in the world are atoms? From Chris. What in the world isn't an atom? Air, water, pants, leaves, robots, and humans are all made up of atoms. This is the periodic table of elements, and when you take chemistry, it becomes your best friend. This chart shows and predicts every known element in the universe: oxygen, iron, lead, and so on. These elements are all made of atoms. Around 2,400 years ago, a Greek guy named Democritus argued that everything in the world was made up of particles so small they could not be cut in half. He called these tiny things atoms, from the Greek word atomos, which means indivisible. In the 1800s, another guy named John Dalton refined the idea with his theory that atoms are the smallest particle of an element that retains its chemical properties. That means if you break apart an atom of an element like carbon, it's not carbon anymore. What is it? Well, atoms are made up of even tinier subatomic particles called protons, neutrons, and electrons. The atom's center, or nucleus, is a cluster of protons and neutrons. Protons have a positive electrical charge, and neutrons have no electrical charge. The atom's nucleus is held together by the strong force, which keeps the positively charged protons from repelling each other. The nucleus is surrounded by a cloud of electrons moving near the speed of light. The electrons have a negative charge that attracts them to the protons, and they live in shells representing different energy levels. On the periodic table, atoms are organized by their atomic number, which is really their number of protons, or electrons. You can also find the atomic mass here, as well as the element's symbol. I kind of think it's amazing that the difference of a few little protons, electrons, and neutrons can produce such a variety of elements with completely different properties. Different types of atoms can bond together to make molecules. Water is a molecule. It's 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, or H2O for short. You would not believe how small atoms are. It would take nearly 10 million atoms just to cross this dot. And the scale of the atom itself is even more ridiculous. If the nucleus was the size of an apple, the electrons would be 5 whole football fields away. Ow! That means all matter in the universe is mostly made up of empty space, which frankly blows my mind.
we are going to have 3 stations today for our breakout. All right? The first station is the sorting station. Now, we've done a few breakouts before, and this one is a completely new one. So, matter has vocabulary words like proton, atom, neutron, molecule, electron, and water. So that's what you will see. One station will be right in front of me here. The other station will be over here. All right? Your second station that you'll need to go to is a DE station. So you'll be going on technology. Now make sure you remember there is a lot of computers, but if you've got more than one group too close together, it's going to be hard to figure out what information you need to get. So make sure you're far apart. And I also have laptops in the back. So if you decide with your team strategy you want to use a laptop and maybe somebody else uses a computer, you guys can divide and conquer and work together. So this one is a very similar illustration and animation we've done before. And it's talking about all matter is made of particles. This one is our reading station. This one has a few things you need to read to gather your information, and you've got 5 questions. One station is up here on the board, and I've labeled it. So, do we bring these back to our desks? Do you remember? No. Where does this need to stay? Right up on the board. All right? That way another team can go, oh, shoot, I needed the reading station. I need to be patient and wait for this team. Or, if you notice this one's taken, we've got a second option. The second station is over in this corner. Now notice how I put them apart, so that way you've got enough space to huddle up with your team and use your strategies. Okay? Do we want to write on these papers? No. If everyone in the class is using them, we don't want to give their team a hint to break out of the box faster than your team. You want your team to stick together. Okay? So you'll have the same reading passage in 2 stations. Alright? So those will be your 3 stations. Now you guys will decide when we start how you're going to work as a team. Okay? What strategies are you going to do to work together? Should one person be the boss? No. You guys should be a team and collaborate. So, without further ado, are we ready?
Yes.
Let's try that again. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. When I count down from 3, your first clue is on top of the box. That's the only paper that you can write on. So, on top of the box is your first clue. When I count to 3, you guys can decipher the clue to find your next one. There's a twist. Normally you have a toolbox with you, right? The little small helper. Do you see that on your table? No. So after you decipher this clue, you're going to have to go hunt for one. Because it's somewhere in this room. Each of you gets your own toolbox. So that's a twist. So, 3, 2, 1. You may begin the clue. it's speaking or if that's a good place to go. If it's speaking, you're going to have to name the other place. Okay, so which so they're doing that. What is the rest of you guys doing?
Got it. This one is 3.
If you're going on,
Yeah, this.
let's do the activities to see if you're correct. If you think you've got it, now you need to double check your answer.
This one has 3.
Alright, this team.
This one is
Good job, April.
Is that one for the word or who's for selfness?
Now. Okay, that one's taken, and that group is going to the second reading. You're gonna have to go to a different station. It looks like the vocabulary ones are taken, so your last step would be get through the computer or bring laptops. You need to bring this with you. Is your questions to answer? Okay. Okay, so did you see anything revealed? Now, did you put them in the right order? That might change things, right? So you have to have the correct definition to see what's the right clue. Guys, great teamwork happening here, right? Oh, you solved one too. All right. Yeah, that'll take a second. Have something, right? Okay, so you guys can do this. Now it looks like that center is now open. So you guys can decide how is your ticket again stick together or split up, divide, and conquer. Alright, so you guys are going to figure out the DE exploration. Alright, so now, Alejandro, what does it say to do these questions? Okay, so when we log in, you can probably help them figure out which ones are going there. So it looks like that computer might not work. So why don't you grab another laptop and I'll take you in. There it is. It might work. Sometimes technology doesn't always be your friend. A little temperamental sometimes. Alright. I know. So you do want to double check because as a team, you need to be able to break out, not one person. So that's the one you guys have to finish for vocabulary part. Okay, so that one is 4-digit lock. Is that 4 digits? Okay, so that would be that lock. Good. Now, should you be shining anything before you do the definition? Okay, so over here is where you should be placing the definition. Instead of covering the word, you should probably put the definition with it so you know that they go together. And you can double check. Okay? Brian, did you get a chance to do one? So you guys noticed something on the back. So I wonder if they would be in the right order in order to work. Good strategy, writing it down. I would not segment what kind it is. I would just look at what the students have. Now you've got several pages of lines. I would go to your very last page because that has your most recent. And it should be somewhere on there. If you see something about our concept, we're working on right now. in your eyes. You can't let them win. Who's gonna get it? Alright, so you got. Alright, what's the first question say? Alright, hit continue. Now I'm gonna answer your first question. Continue, so you can start your activity. What's your first question, Baker? So you're gonna have to go through the expiration line.
The proton is positive. So the first one is neutron.
There's water. So what okay, so how many molecules of H2O?
To find out
Maybe, maybe not.
okay, I got the
You have to make sure it's closed all the way, and sometimes if it's a lot number, we've seen that there's one that's complicated. So if you close them, you push them in like that, and now you can start turning. Alright, so I just cleared out what you did. Make sure it's closed, and then you can try to open it. Okay, now this one, read it though. Read this one. This one says what? It has a 0. So is this a 4-digit or a 3-digit? It's kind of hiding in there. Okay, so it's a 3-digit. Alright, team 1 that opened is table 3. Let's see who the next team can be. We've got 10 minutes left. Let's keep working. Yes. Alright, so pick which one you like. Now, you guys are finished. Remember where we go when we're done. Good job, Cam. You can go bring a set of task cards to your team. Do quiz, trade. Yes. I'm coming to your team. Alright, so what we do when we're trying to line up the blocks. You can line. Okay, so you're trying to line up this line right there. That one. So you've got some of it already lined up. You need to make sure you answer all 3 questions. So, what's the first thing? Right now you don't have full numbers. We got it. Team 2? Alright. Another one. That was really close. Alright. Close call. First question. Alright. Second question. A helium atom is made of how many protons, neutrons, and electrons? It looks like we're not to that part yet, so you need to finish until you get to the helium. Alright, let's see what happens when you continue going. So you did you put all 3 objects? Once you do, it's going to
What about this stuff? Can we get to keep it?
We're going to keep it in the box because it's one that we're not using. Do you remember where to go when you're done? Go grab a set of task cards for your group. Alright. Different prizes. Alright, let's go work on our task cards. Stay with our group. Yes, I know. Alright, let's just leave it out and we are going to put the toys off to the side so we can work on your task cards. Alright? So, you guys are going to use your task cards that you has. You can do quiz, trade. It's going to give you the answer on the card, but you're asking somebody else to try to figure it out. Don't say it starts with the letter A. That's not helping them. Give them questions to probe and ask, alright, what does that mean exactly? they can get to it. You're starting? Now make sure your team has their coins off to the side, and maybe each one should have their own card. You guys can trade off. Okay? Okay. What was your second one? How many protons did you have on the letter? Okay, you're on your last one. Last question. If I have 3 molecules with H2O, how many atoms are all together? If you have 3 molecules of H2O, so how many atoms is in 1 molecule? So 1 molecule is 3, 2 molecules, 3 molecules is. And what yours is okay, so make sure they line up. Good job. High five. Last question. Okay. 1 molecule has how many atoms?
What is it doing? Flashlight.
Alright, how do you figure it out though? This is important. Alright, because there's H2O, 3, and then there's 3 separated. Alright, ready? You both got it at the same time. You have to line it up on the line. And the 0 is over.
My turn.
It has to be 100% click or else it'll show many people. And you guys got it at the same time, alright. The lock is an extra lock in there because I want to
I know the answer is all the
so they're kind of on. The locks stay in the box because these are the extra ones that
Everybody basically gives me this because I already got them all.
Next question. SLE.
Ready.
I think you guys broke out before time. How much time is left? You guys have like over 5 minutes left. So, SLE.
Seahawks ready.
Let's return to our team and take a seat. If you have task cards that you were studying, that means you completed it before other teams. Go ahead and put the task cards together. Okay? I love how Team 4 is starting to close their box and putting all the locks on top of the box because they're cleaning up. Okay? Everyone did really well working together. Now table 1 is starting to put things away. And table 2 is putting their locks on top. Now as with every day in science, we are going to have an exit ticket. We are going to test our knowledge, what we learned today. Alright, give me a thumb up when your team looks like they're ready. You've got your locks on top. Everybody has their prize off to the side. Go ahead and pick them up. Okay. Table 4 is almost ready. I'm looking for those thumbs up. I see somebody looking at their scale already, which is the next step. So that could be where you start. Table 1 looks about ready. I need to see thumbs when your group looks ready. Table 3 looks ready. Table 2 looks ready. Alright, let's open up to our scales. Okay? You should be able to tell me the 3 parts of an atom. Okay? So, quiz ourselves. An atom, can we see them with your eye?
No.
No. So, when I give you your sticky, this is your exit ticket. We already know the answer together as the first question. Now, this question you guys also have quizzed yourself and you now know. What are the 3 key parts of an atom? Bonus points if you can tell me their charge. Like, do we have a way of remembering what charge they have without saying it out loud, but keep it in your noggin. You're going to write it on this sticky note. Okay? As an exit ticket, you need to have your name on the top, today's date, which is the 6th, and we bring our exit tickets to what stuck with you today on the back door. Okay? So, what do you get bonus points for knowing? Who was listening? Because it's not up there. The questions you have to answer are up there. But next level, higher level, is bonus points. Brian, what was the bonus points? The charges of each one. Alright? So, go ahead and take one, pass it around. Put your name and date on the top. Now this is your way of showing me what you've learned from this. Take one, pass it around. Go ahead and put your name in the top corner. Take one, pass it around. You have 2 questions to answer. Can you see atoms with your eye? If so, say that. If not, say why you cannot. Number 2, what were the 3 key parts of an atom? Okay, because now that we know that matter is made up of molecules, which are more than one atom, or atoms have 3 parts in order to be an atom. Tell me what those 3 parts are. I know we've been practicing ways to remember the charge. So that is another key point. And you've got some example pictures on the board from what we've talked about and from the video. Okay? I really like that you guys are writing neat so we can read these. And you're taking your time. That's you. I think each team had a different strategy. As you guys are thinking, I'm just kind of going over some things I saw. Some teams decided to divide and conquer. Put part of your team at one station and part at another, and then come together to open the lock. Some of you might have had difficulties opening these locks, okay? Then you figured out what works. If some of the letters are rubbing off, bless you, you can figure out what letters are around it on the other on the lock. You also have a lot of different prizes. I really appreciate how we were so happy to give one prize. I'm very grateful for that. And that's what you get to keep. You don't have to give me the prize back. You get to keep it. Alright? So, once you feel like you've completed your exit ticket, you may quietly walk to what stuck with you today. And then you can return to your seat. Yes. Do you answer both questions or one question? Both questions. Okay, good.